Hi, I'm Lisha and thank you for joining me today on Thriving Plants. Today I'm going to show you what is truly the easiest way that you can plant your carrot seeds. I have done this for so many years, over 20, and after many experiments I can tell you this is absolutely the easiest way, and you will probably never hear this from anybody else. So let's get started. I've already put some radishes in here because radishes grow shallow roots, whereas carrots grow deep roots. So I want to use as much of my space as possible. To do that, this is what I do. And I put my carrots in between these. The carrots I'm using have a 2 to 3 inch spacing, 12 to 14 inches between rows, but since I'm just using this small container, I'm not planting a whole bunch of them. I'm not real worried about that. The planting depth for this specific variety, or the tender sweet carrots, is 1/8 to 1/4 inch. You need to pay attention to your planting depth with all plants, because if you don't do that, you're going to end up with plants that stretch when they come up if they're planted too deep, or they're going to just grow on the top of the soil and you're not going to get anything out of them. So all I do with these, since they're supposed to be 2 to 3 inches apart, I make my holes in between the radish holes where they're going to be 2 to 3 inches apart. Like I said, these won't compete because the radish roots are so shallow. So just make the holes. And said normally I never dig in soil without gloves, but since this is such a shallow depth, I'm not real worried about it. Then I take a couple of seeds, just a pinch of seeds on the very edge of the envelope. Oops, I just put those in with radishes. Oh well, that won't hurt them. And I just sprinkle a couple of seeds into each one of these holes, because the final planting depth for these, or spacing depth for these, is only going to be 2 to 3 inches. So why waste all these carrots planting these long lines and spending all that time having to weed these or thin these things out when you just can put them at what's already going to be their regular spacing? So after probably 20 years of doing this, many years ago, that thought occurred to me. And it's like, why am I wasting all these seeds by doing it that way when this is going to be the final spacing anyway? So why not do it this way? And it truly is the easiest way to do it. You're not spending hours on thinning this stuff out. And also, you're not wasting a whole bunch of seeds. So this is really the way I've always done it. I end up with tons and tons of carrots doing it this way. I always make sure I kind of go from side to side, making sure I cover them, because I don't want to miss covering any of them up. That one's a little too shallow. Press them down a little bit. And after I've done this, I'll pat this down again, kind of try to keep my seeds in place. Then I'm gonna water it. I'll label it with what I put in here, and then once everything starts to come up, I'll put some mulch on there, and that's basically what I do, and I've done for years. And like I said, I get tons of carrots this way with little waste and very little time thinning. I planted these carrot seeds a few weeks ago, and they're supposed to be spaced 2 to 3 inches apart, so that's roughly what these are. All I do is take a bunch of carrot seeds from the end of my envelope, like I said earlier. I drop a couple, and as you can see, I have 2, 4, 2, probably about 5 right here. I let these grow a little bit taller, and I snip off the ones that I don't want to keep at the base with a pair of scissors. That way I'm not disturbing the roots by pulling these. I add my mulch, and you can see here I'm not spending hours on end thinning, and I'm not wasting a bunch of my carrot seeds. Thank you for joining me today on my channel, Thriving Plants. Please hit the subscribe button down below so you can check out my future videos on gardening. I promise you're going to learn a lot more, and I will see you next time. Bye.